microphone. There we go. Because if I have to crouch over it, regular-sized humans will definitely change. Welcome to the Chicago Poetry Center's Blue Hour Reading Series. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Yes, on a Wednesday night for poetry. Yes. All right. So we want to start, as we always do, with our land and labor acknowledgements. We want to acknowledge that this event is being hosted on the unceded traditional homelands of the Council of Three Fires. I'm going to pause while the coat rack moves out. Not disturb the ancestors by calling their names while something squeaky is happening. Great, so we want to start by acknowledging that this event is being hosted on the unceded traditional homelands of the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. Many other tribes, such as the Miami, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Sauk, and Fox, also called this area home. The region has long been a center for indigenous people to gather, trade, and maintain kinship ties. Today, one of the largest urban American Indian communities in the United States resides right here in Chicago, continuing to contribute to the vitality of this city and to celebrate their heritage, practice traditions, and care for the land and waterways. We invite you to explore these unceded traditional homelands. For those of you watching the live stream at home, to explore where you find yourselves as well. We want to take this moment to honor all who came before us, the indigenous peoples displaced by colonization, as well as those who built this country through uncompensated and compulsory labor, those enslaved, and those oppressed. We honor those who came before and those who continue to live on this land as we hold this shared space for art and expression. So a little bit about the Chicago Poetry Center. At the Chicago Poetry Center, we believe that poetry illuminates our individual and shared humanity, fueling thriving lives and healthy communities. Our mission is to connect people and poetry, equitably engage poets with communities, and foster creative literacy in the city and beyond. We envision and work to create a fair and verdant world rooted in artistic expression, human connection, and boundless imagination. We do that through essentially 3 sets of programs. There's lots of information about these at the back table, adjacent to the bar. There's information, where else would we put it, right? Exactly, right next to the drinks. There's information about our education programs, which largely takes place in Chicago public schools. A free resource for 2nd to 5th graders, Queensy's Poetic Adventures, critical conversations at work, anti-racism, and of course, the Blue Hour Reading Series. We will take a little bitty break from the regular reading series in December, but on Sunday, December 17th from 1 to 3, right here at Haymarket House, we're excited to have Stevie Edwards, who's an amazing editor and poet and all-around genius human, joining us for a 2-hour workshop on how to get published, how to get your work out into the world, in magazines, journals, anthologies, that sort of thing. It's about half sold out, so sign up today if you're interested in doing that. In January, we're super psyched to come back with a double header of our Chicago Poetry Center Poets in Residence. We have C. Russell Price and Teresa Zieglowitz, and Teresa's here somewhere. Yeah. Our January feature. So anyway, we're super psyched to kick off the year with 2 Poets in Residence. In February, we'll have S. Yarberry and Dan Sully Sullivan. Hey. Yes, my friend. People who leave and then we bring them back. Bring them back to do poems. March 20th, we have Edgar Kuntz and Monica Rico. April, we have Scott Woods and Alicia Mountain. And then in May, we'll close out the season with Angelique Zobitz and George Abraham. Okay, that's all my stuff and things. We're gonna do a 5-person open mic. The way we do that is I pull it out of this pokey, sharp object, and then we hear from 5 people drawn randomly. We do ask that you do 1 poem or 3 minutes, whichever comes first, right? So like, no Norse epics, or just 3 minutes of it, if that's what's happening for you. Cool. Okay, who's gonna start it off? Heather Bird!
As soon as you giggle, I was like,
give it up for Heather Bird!
I'm Tyler.
Tyler was like, did you put your name in the bowl? I'm like, huh, what bowl? And then I go first. Hey y'all, it's really good to see everyone. So I am going to do a piece that I actually wrote with Marty at one of the residencies that she runs. So it's called How to Let Go of a Memory or a Locket, or How to Repurpose Ash, or Healing is a Clusterfuck, a Conversation with Self. Unclasp the braided gold chain, fumble to pinch and grip with your nails. You hold memory. Take your index finger and begin to scrape him out. Fumble to pinch and grip with your nails. Be precise. Unhook your index finger. Continue to carve him out. You let the tears rupture their way through. Be precise. Unhook. You've held his demons long enough. Let the tears rupture their way through. Remember, you stood tall with an earthquake in your limbs. You held his demons while your tongue crumbled. You stood tall during the aftershock. Uncouple, crumble. You go east and leave him in the bosom of that woman. Remember, you deserve a sunrise. Go east and leave. You deserve sunshine. Remember, you get to stutter, shake, be shattered glass, and sweep in the light. Return home untethered. I'm telling you, it's easy. Place that bastard in a box to burn. Smudge the splinters left behind until his demons are back in his hands, until the clouds siphon all the memories, until this lesson is pressed into a diamond. Thank you.
Well, that reminded me of what I forgot to say, which is that poems create feelings. Poems create feelings, so do take care of yourself. If you need to stand up and take a break and wander out, use the bathroom or whatever, please do exercise, self-care.
And eat food.
Oh, and eat food, yes. So we have some snacks tonight.
Like a lot.
Don't say we're gonna make anything.
We have a whole dinner bag.
Yeah, there's some food. So also if you're like, something rumbling, between poets, preferably not mid-poem, between poems, maybe you wander over and have a little snack. I love it. Okay, great. Let's see who's next. I love this part. I never know what's going to happen because it's random. Oh, it's upside down. Tyler Lockwood.
So I think this is my karma for forcing Heather to go. So I'm Tyler. I have something that's pretty rough, but why not? Alrighty. This is called I Won't Even Remember. I don't want to learn everything about you if by next week I won't care anymore. I won't care when I walk past the school you're starting in January. I won't think of you when I eat a cookie tasting like the one we shared. I won't even remember the names of your 5 siblings and the many cities they live in. I don't want to learn about your hopes, dreams, passions, and interests. I won't care when the artist you said influenced your music dies. I won't think of you when I smell the cologne I recognized on your table. I won't even remember that you live nearby when I come back to visit this city. I don't want to learn your favorite drink, and I don't want to learn that you don't drink often. I won't care when I walk past your work, the place we first met. I won't think of you when our favorite sports team has an incredible win. I won't even remember what it felt like when we first kissed. I don't want to learn how you like to be touched. I won't care when I get your message inviting me out for a drink. I won't think of how you made me feel when I respond with a yes. I won't even remember that once I cared about you at all. Thank you.
visiting us again? You're not visiting
It was
for
meant to be 1 month.
It was meant to be 1 month, and it's to stay forever.
I
Stay
will
forever.
get deported eventually.
I'm on like a deep Chicago constant like recruitment and stay forever kind of move. Yes. All right. Who's up next? Dawn Angelica Barcelona. Yes. But then pause till they get here. That's the move. There you go.
Hi everyone, it's my first time here and I'm also new to Chicago, so.
Hey.
Woo! Alright. Portrait in sepia. Cuttlefish shoot smoke screens, then spend hours in hiding. They hunt with beaks sharp enough to pierce crabs right to their core. Their blood, not quite red, and ink, not quite black, are the same color to them, no matter where their W-shaped eyes turn. Their hypnotic stripes teach their babies inside how to hide. Like us, they dream and REM sleep, jerk awake through their tentacles. Like me, they are active at night, stepping through mud and mildew. And they are also like you, with 3 exploding hearts, each beating in a different time zone. Thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. All right. 2 more people with the open mic, and my mask is caught on my earring, but it's fine. Here we go. Life in the pandemic. All right, who's this? Let's see. Mary Holly.
Yeah.
Yes, Mary. I think Mary was like, I didn't think I'd be called. Wait.
Thank you, Marty. It's great to be here. There've been oopsie. Okay, I broke it. There've been a couple poems about relationships. There's another one, but much later. And let me just say, it's not about me and Mike. It's called On State Street. Sunday morning at a downtown cafe, the man on the next couch is collected by his wife, who sails through the door like a pissed off swan. She is impatient and he reluctant, waving his paper cup, settling deeper into the cushions. Did you eat? Oh, just went. All right. Did you eat anything? She asks. And I can't tell if the right answer is yes or no. But he only grunts in the way of a married man, swims out of the cushions and lazy strokes, and they leave for church or brunch or a tour of a new condo on State Street. And I wonder if the day ahead of them is already carved into words, once improvised like rain finding its own way to the river, now hardened into ice so thick that fish and frogs deep below can only sleep. Thank you very much.
This beautiful place has a sound system that is sometimes funky, so we do the very best we can. All right, we've got 1 more person in the open mic. So I should acknowledge the empty chair to my left. We do normally have an ASL interpreter. It's something that we're committed to doing as the Poetry Center, as being as accessible as we can be. But our interpreter had a family emergency tonight and couldn't make it. So our hearts and thoughts are with Makeda. And we'll have closed captioning on the live stream recording. Okay, Ryan Verratti. Yes.
Hi, everybody. I promise it's not like a weird conspiracy for people.
I think that might be.
Cool. Hi. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the Chicago Poetry Center. Thank you to Marty, of course, and our lovely folks in the back. Thank you, of course, also to all of the fabulous readers that went before me. This is the part where I have to slow down my breathing. Okay. Normally I would like to explain a poem before I read it, but this one doesn't really have explanation. So, It's called The Year of Failed Augury. The year our world died, I deferred to the government of birds. As in, tried to soar above it all, but kept snagging my sneakers on telephone wire. It was the year your sky was filled with ash, and you sketched the grackles enforcing curfew from the safety of our dusty home. Birds are omens, it is said, and I wanted so desperately to be your omen, to guide you from that forest burning in your mind. It was the year of hummingbird assassins, wings beating the sky in terrible arcs. By the end, I had no more nectar left to give you. It was the year I tried to grow my words in the windowsill, and the eagles perched outside swallowed every fledgling body. All fall, a conglomerate of crows watched me from the supermarket parking lot, and I wanted to tell you of their dancing in puddles when it rained. But when I got home, you were sleeping, and I could not bring myself to wake you. Thank you.
Quick round of applause for all of our open mic. Quick hint as well, I think that one of the keys with this microphone is to maintain like a fist distance from it, because it gets like overwhelmed if you're too close. Like me. It's not really true. Consent is important, we'll talk about later. I legitimately the other day saw, it's not the other day, it was like months ago, I saw my parents and I was like, Dad, can I give you a hug? He was like, what? I'm like, oh, sorry, I just have it now. You know, I was like, we'll talk about consent culture later, but it's like become so ingrained. Can I give you a hug? It's so good, but my dad doesn't care. He's like, I'm good with it, I changed your diapers. Anywho, super excited in fully unrelated news to introduce our two incredible features for tonight. Although, I don't know, I'm going to go ahead and make a link. And the link here is that it's not so common that we have two he, him, his features in one night, which might have something to do with my biases. And the fact that, you know, I like lady poets. But also, I mean, truly, what I'm thinking about is the fact that, like, these are two excellent poets and two excellent men. Like, it is, we could have a whole other conversation about, do we separate the artist from the art? Do we, whatever. And it gives me such, like, deep and abiding joy not to have to. To be like, these are men that I, like, trust. And I feel like I know. And I feel like when I read their work, I'm like, right. It's because they tell the truth, right? And they tell the truth in the world, and they tell the truth in their poems. And they do it in a way that is so specifically each of them. So I'm super excited to have this room full of people get to experience that. We are going to start with Jacob. Jacob Saenz is the author of Throwing the Crown, winner of the APR Honickman First Book Prize. His poetry has appeared in American Poetry Review, Memorias, Poetry, Rhino, and other journals. A Canto Mundo Fellow, he's been the recipient of a Letras Latinas residency, a Ruth Lilly Poetry Fellowship, and a Latinx scholarship from the Frost Place. He's awesome. Come on.
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello?
There you go.
Better? All right. Fist distance. Thank you all for being here. It's really great to be here. Thank you, Marty, for that lovely introduction. Thank you to the Chicago Poetry Center. Thank you to everyone here at Haymarket House making it happen. I really appreciate everyone's effort and just being here. It's great. I love this reading series. I love Marty. I love the people at the Chicago Poetry Center. So it's really an honor to share some work with y'all. And I'm gonna start by reading some poems from my book, which came out 5 years ago now. So it doesn't feel like as new and exciting as I want it to feel, but maybe, I mean, I'm sure some of you have heard these poems a lot in this room, but many of you haven't, I don't think. So I want to honor that, the work in this book by reading a few poems, because guess what? I have some for sale if y'all want some later. Just talk to me. In honor of it being the Blue Hour reading series, I have a poem with the word blue in it, Blue Line Incident, so I'm going to start with that. Blue Line Incident. He was just some coked out, crazed king with crooked teeth, and a teardrop forever falling, fading from his left eye, peddling crack to passengers, or crackheads passing as passengers, on a train chugging from Chicago to Cicero, from the loop through K-Town, Kedzie, Costner, Kildare. I was just a brown boy in a brown shirt, head shaven with fuzz on my chin, staring at treetops and rooftops, seated in a pair of beige shorts, a badge of possibility. A bunny let loose from 26th Street, hopping my way home, hoping not to get shot, stop after stop. But a banger I wasn't, and he wasn't buying it, sat across the aisle from me. Do you smoke crack? Hey, who you ride with? Are you a D? Let me see. Throw it down then. I hesitate, then 4-3 fingers down, then boast about my block, a recent branch in the king's growing tree. The boys of 15th and 51st, I say, they're my boys, my friends. I was fishing for a lifesaver, and he hooked them in and had them say goodbye like we was boys and shit, when really I should have gutted that fuck with the tip of my blue ball point. And if you like gang activity poems, there's more of those in this book. That's what I want to read tonight. I'm a big player of basketball, and I have some basketball friends here tonight. Shout out to Bobby and Micah. So I want to read a basketball poem, because I had a couple in here as well. Shoot around. I run onto the lot of the local school's outdoor basketball court and start shooting around shirtless, burning my shoulders under a sizzling July sunset. Alone, I focus on form and follow through, bending knees, pointing my right elbow toward the basket, my arm a goose's neck upon release. The ball echoes off walls with each bounce, the chain net rattles crisply with each swish. Above, I see birds circle over trees on a cliff overlooking the court like skybox seating. Midway through shooting, a white cop rushes onto school grounds. I think game over, because I'm a brown body on a black top in a town where a school celebrates Wigger Day with white kids donning do-rags and baggy pants, their heads drenched in fake dreads and cultural appropriation. Instead, the cop turns a corner and walks down an aisle surrounding the school. I fling a few more shots, which clank off the rim as sweat slides down my face and chest as he heads towards trees and bushes to conceal his movement. I glance up and witness a hawk swooping deep into green leaves for a prey I cannot see.
Taller, then that's going to help apparently.
Is that better?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want, all right. Sounds good. Left. So I'm going to read one more poem from the book. The second section, I mean, the book is like your typical first book of poems, you know, a lot of poems about childhood, a lot of poems about family, memories. However, the middle section is poems in the voice of the Bachelor, this Bachelor persona that I created. Not at all based on me. So I wanted to read a poem from that to give you a taste of that. And then I'll read some poems that I've written since the book has been out. The Bachelor watches The Bachelor. I sit on the couch and witness my life projected on a screen. I am white with a chiseled dimpled chin and no lips. I'm a farmer who lives alone in a loft and not a lowly office worker who lives with a roommate in an apartment where dust balls decorate the floors and walls and the ceiling rings with children's feet running back and forth like baby bulls. I am crazy enough to be a contestant on a show where I'm contractually obligated to propose to a woman who believes in a heteronormative, patriarchal idea of what a family should be. At the end of every episode, I offer roses to those I wish to make out with more, and take out on prepackaged romantic dates I could never afford on my Bachelor budget. For example, a date in a castle, a glass slipper prop, a clock winding its way down to midnight. My date and I sip champagne, chant and eat. Then we dance to a live orchestra led by a maestro who wishes he were dead. A giant screen appears and plays a clip of a live-action Cinderella movie with Prince Charming played by an actor I've seen slaughter and behead a soldier like clipping the head off a rose. In real life, my dates consist of dinner at Burger King where we dine on chicken fries and don paper crowns for a royal feel. On another show date, I take two women to South Dakota where we fly over the heads of white slave owners carved into a sacred native mountain. At the end of the date, I offer no roses to either woman and abandon them on a canopy bed in the middle of the Badlands and take off in a helicopter to provide the cameras an aerial view of wilderness and despair. At the end of the show, I find myself proposing to a fertility nurse in a barn made to look like a chapel and not the place where I raised my first horse, fuck my first goat. Here, I will milk the cows for our future offspring to drink straight from the teat like I did as a kid. The show ends and I rise from the couch and walk into the kitchen. On bended knee, I reach for a bottle of beer deep in the back of the fridge, pop the top like a question, and take a swig, cold and crisp, once it hits my full lips. Okay, so now for poems that are not in the book. I guess I've been writing a couple love poems lately because I'm in love and I'm getting married next year. And so I'm just gonna start with those. Also, I want to say hi to my mom, maybe, who's watching, and my brother, my brothers. Okay. 100 words for your green eyes, after Lorna di Cervantes. I love your big green eyes, gazing at cats or me, sometimes annoyingly, most times adoringly. I'll bear whatever beam your peepers stream, the hue and heat of salsa verde, or the cool flesh of avocado, which I love to cut open and eat with the spoon like I would your eyes, sitting so fucking deliciously in your skull. I want to chew and suck on them a la punch drunk love. I'm rum punch crunk from your cornea and pupil and iris, every cell and nerve working together to give you sight, which lands on me, looking lovingly at you. Tripping in and out with this mic, so I apologize.
Wait, let's try this one. I have another one. I have solutions, they may not work. Let's just try it, here.
It could also just be my voice.
No, it's like, everything's in retrograde, it's fine.
Hello? Is it better?
Yes.
Okay, so fine. All right, ode to your belly button. We have a couple of innies, you and I, but whereas I love to stick a finger in mine and pick out a piece of lint, t-shirt residue, or hairs, you refuse any urge to dig inside your own, which goes down deep into your abdomen, or so my fingers have felt when they sneaked and snaked inside without touching bottom. What secrets lie in there? A treasure chest of jeweled skulls and gold, a box of chicken tenders, a clump of Sadie's cat hair. Oh, let me dig inside your belly button and clear it of any fabric dreads. Let me comb and kiss the wisp of hairs crowning your navel and reach inside with my tongue, which can only go so far. Let me lather myself in cocoa butter and dive head first into the center of where you were tethered to your mother and seek out any shipwrecks like the lake serpent, sunken and loaded with limestone in Lake Erie. It's eerie to you, I know, the thought of touching your belly's non-button, its nook. I'll bring a book and spend a day inside your crevice reading while I feed off any crumbs you drop. Red flecks of Takis and hints of Oreo Thins. You can scoop me out with your finger and toss me onto the rug like I do my own naval nesters, and I'll latch onto Sadie, who loves to lay on your lap and belly, and I'll return to your hovel, your little crook, and I'll make a home for myself like a love spider. I saw Elvis in a UFO. A home run is no shooting star, but still produces fireworks in the Chicago sky above Sox Park, thanks to Elvis Augusto Andrus Torres cranking one out near me and T-Money's bleacher seats. Last time I was at the park, it was Elvis night, and me and Turndog watched Ursat Elvises in white jumpsuits leap from helicopters and parachute onto the green diamond while fans dining sideburn-adorned sunglasses fawned over the spectacle despite the loss. This time around, the DePaul mascot ran up and down steps, fist-thumping fans with the blue furry paw, their hair bouncing like a red and blue pom-pom or flame locks. What befits a blue demon? I remember signing books, Go Blue Devils, for Juice's lit class at DePaul, mistaking their mascot for Duke's cerulean hell figure on a black t-shirt I wore to picture day, 7th grade, smiling and side-eyeing the camera. My 6th grade self once penned a short story titled, I Saw Elvis in a UFO, where the king abducted a boy for a spaceship joyride and brought him back in time for dinner. The final words, thank you very much. I read in my Elvis voice in front of the class and teacher who laughed, which gave me sweet dreams as I lay in my top bunk bed at night and listened to the tick-tock of an Elvis clock on my wall. The seconds wound away on his blue and white checkered chest, while his black pants and blue shoes swung in pendulous silence. This next poem I wrote after an exercise that is part of Marty's book, Gathering Voices, which maybe the workshop that y'all were, people who were part of the workshop here earlier, it's part of modeled on that. This is after Diane Seuss poem called People That Goes Down in the North of the South Are See-Through. So I wrote this poem based on the exercises, the suggestions, the questions that Marty posed in that book and that poem. So this is called Ghost Fathers, after Diane Seuss. They don't change into pajamas when going to bed. They fall asleep in blue coveralls they wear to work, cleaning windows for corporate high-rises. They snore and talk in their sleep. They speak broken English and have 2 fake front teeth they take out of their mouths before bed, when sober, almost choke on them when drunk. They drink Budweiser every night and weekend mornings too. They sit in recliners to watch their favorite telenovela, Dos Mujeres, Un Camino, or they read small trade paperback westerns. They have dirt under their nails and turn pages of books by licking their thumb and forefinger. Their feet smell like Doritos and not in an appetizing way. They work hard, but play harder, and spend rent money at bars until their little ghost kids go and fetch them off bar stools by tugging at their sleeves. They buy the couch, the beds, the TV and home entertainment set, and when they break up with ghost mothers, they take it all away and leave the apartment bare. The kids sit on floors and stare at where the TV was, until ghost mothers go back begging on knees for another chance, another haunting to scare the kids into a family. stents in your heart keep the blood moving steady and serenely. May you cry without chest pains, shed water for your sisters lost among the overwhelming losses of last year. May your heart ache with the pang of love's carnage, and not from eating too much carne, too many fried papas and slices of cheese. May the meds you buy be cheap and strong against the tides of time, working against the body's shore. May your heart be reborn daily, failing only to hold in all the love gushing out. I don't really have a title for this, so I'm just gonna read it. Jose, the artist, the sketcher during class lectures, and painter outside of school, the maniac for animaniacs, invited me to a sleepover at his home. And maybe our 7th grade selves watch Pinky and the Brain plot to rule the world, only to be foiled again. But what I recall is a black and white tiled basement, cold to the feet, an easel set up, a work in progress of brush strokes and dabs of oil paint, and his father's desk drawer, pulled open with a box inside. And inside the box, a silver gun, a glossy revolver with an ornate white handle, which Jose picks up and points at my chest with a smile, a laugh. And despite my love of violent movies, of shoot-'em-up video games and war toys, I ran upstairs in tears, afraid of an empty pistol pulled out in play, the gun up close, unnumbing the notion of fear, of what a bullet does to flesh, his aim steady as a paintbrush, my body a clean canvas. I'm gonna close with this poem, not my own. I'm gonna close with a poem by Palestinian poet and activist Mohammed El-Kurd from the book Rich Cut, published by Haymarket Books. Go get one. And yeah, this is in solidarity with the people of Palestine and people pleading for a ceasefire. Yeah. This is why we dance for Carmel. Home in my memory is a green, worn-out couch and my grandmother in every poem. Every jasmine picked off the backlash, every backlash picked off the tear gas, and tear gas healed with yogurt and onions, with resilience, with women chanting, drumming on pots and pans, with goddamn and his bayalas. They work tanks, we know stones. 2008, during the Gaza bombings, my ritual of watching TV ran between grieving and Egyptian belly dance music. I fluctuated between hatred and adoration, stacking and hoarding Darwish's reasons to live, sometimes believing them. Sometimes dipping my bread in indulgence, knowing a child is breadless, and Khan Yunis dipped in a root's rubble. If you ask me where I'm from, it's not a one-word answer. Be prepared, seated, sober, geared up. If hearing about a world other than yours makes you uncomfortable, drink the sea, cut off your ears. Blow another bubble to bubble your bubble and the pretense. Blow up another town of bodies in the name of fear. This is why we dance. My father told me anger is a luxury we cannot afford. Be composed, calm, still. Laugh when they ask you, smile when they talk, answer them, educate them. This is why we dance. If I speak, I'm dangerous. You open your mouth, raise your eyebrows. You point your fingers. This is why we dance. We have wounded feet, but the rhythm remains, no matter the adjectives on my shoulders. This is why we dance, because screaming isn't free. Please tell me, why is anger, even anger, a luxury to me? Thank you.
I do want to say that, thank you, Jacob, for your own work and for sharing that last poem. There are, because we're in partnership with Haymarket House and Haymarket Books, which is housed right here, we have the great privilege of access to a lot of things, including on the table out in the lobby. There's a whole series of broadside posters which are free for the taking. So please, if you're moved to do so, go ahead and take those. Okay, so excited to bring to the stage Jason Bayani. Jason Bayani, thank you for those woos. Jason Bayani is the author of Locus and Amulet. He's an MFA graduate from St. Mary's College, a Kundiman Fellow, and the co-director of Kearney Street Workshop, the oldest multidisciplinary Asian Pacific American arts organization in the country. His publishing credits include World Literature Today, Lantern Review, and other publications. He's the recipient of the 2021 California Arts Council Established Artist Fellowship and is a featured artist for the Consortium of Asian American Theaters and Artists Festival in 2022. He performs regularly around the country and debuted his solo theater show, Locus of Control, in 2016 with theatrical runs in San Francisco, New York, and Austin. Not in Chicago, but that's okay. We forgive you. Please welcome to the stage, Jason Diane.
Thank y'all. Hey, if anyone runs a theater space, I'll bring the show here. Yeah, that show is actually, a lot of it comes, or actually the book and my last book, Locus, and the show, Locus Control, kind of were made together. I'll read a little bit of that in a bit, but I'm feeling kind of really pulled to do new stuff. Thank y'all for having me. I've been wanting to come back to Chicago. I've been here since 2010, and my niece has been going to school here for the last 4 years, and finally got the opportunity to come out, and while she's still out here, so this is really grateful for that. I'm waiting for the words to catch up to my heart, which is elliptical at the moment. There's an apology even I am expecting to bore out of my throat, but what for? What for? I am continuing to write in a font that displeases me. Everything shifts so rapidly these days, my body, the environment, Why not return to something as aggressively unspectacular as Arial? A font for all of my first thoughts. Today I typed the words someday again and deleted and retyped. Deleted and retyped. Inside of the collapse, I am still holding on to narrative. This is not sentiment. It is how I keep my family together. When I breathe in deep enough, I feel it. All the old anger waiting to become newer anger. Not having the words can feel like not having something to hit. I think I wrote that in another poem before. What is the equation that solves everything? Ideas are commodity, even the idea that ideas are commodity. I don't even know what I have to sell. I've spent my entire life living on a fault line. I know all that's been made is inherently broken. This is not me being dour. This is me writing a note that says, I miss you. I meant that the other way. But the one you're thinking, that works. I took a train here. Spent 2 days on a train. I thought you meant like the blue line. No, I took a train from to California, and it was a kind of an amazing experience. Can't really sleep, but it's kind of great. And so, I did, because I also do a lot of work, and I did write a poem while I was on the train. So
Yeah.
it's fine reading. There's an imbalance. Feel free to adjust this curriculum of unmaking, the borders around your necks, this unmoored earth. The colonial project is not over. Make this a place of reweaving. Say it again. Everyone I love alive. Everyone. 1,000 clay jars for all this grief. I make for you a place to land this grief. Say it. I'm writing us back into history. Say it. Our homes will be our homes again. Our homes are a garden. Our homes are the fields that we tend to. A land is more than a possession. A land is a living thing. Lupa Aipuhai.
Yes.
Where is my place anymore? Where is the red of me? Where is a home for all this fury? Noise is a sort of capture. Silence, undoing silence, too little in too much of a space. Who taught us how to extract the self? Who turned our gods into our monsters? The beast is the imbalance. Where are your hands reforging? The wheel is not broken yet. Help me find my north. Through there is the unclaimed world. It is not unmovable. I do have a song, a trajectory, all that memory has to give. Healing is the circle widening. Healing is a map place. The road comes reckoning. All of our wild selves reveling the moon. We are a moon. I would gene you a place of continuous renewal, one with a quiet hum. How beautiful the sound of your breathing, how much awe inside of your still. I have a belief of this cycle breaking, this greater work, this greater prayer. May this be our becoming as long as the sun, as long as the sun. Maybe I'll also read a basketball poem.
Yes.
You have my brother's name too. This is I'm from the Bay. I'm a big Golden State Warriors fan. It's called Portrait of Steph Curry as Mac Dre on an Oakland mural. Starts with the old Gertrude Stein quote of "There's no there there." Maybe Gertrude, the city, was waiting to find the right music. Maybe it's a little you rendering language by the throat. But if there is preciseness, the right tongue, let it drop a verse and reflect back on itself in disgust. Let it be filthy and relished. Let it come at the back end of a crossed-up Australian shook out of his sneakers. In a stadium where the price of tickets will never go down. In a city where the rent is always rising. When the ball hits the bottom of the net, Steph Curry turns to the cameras wearing Mac Dre's mug on his face like a secret. Like the very thing my folks will trip over themselves to understand. I wanted to be able to tell you the story would be what saved us. Because I believe we tell it better. Because we do. Because we build better worlds, what the world is. I'm sorry I thought I could give you something more hopeful. I do have a lot of it, hope. The minutiae of living requires so much of it. The first cup of coffee in the morning, work emails, grocery shopping, I had to spend a little bit of hope on comfortable running shoes. Water, medicinal goods, doing the laundry is a hopeful task, isn't it? What is even left for dreaming? I want to be a living thing, I do. I am in possession of a body, and this body bounds into space, and I impede upon space as any structure does. And I shape to, and I am made and make and move through time in gentle cuts. I too am among you searching for light. I know it is there, I haven't yet learned how to feel for it. How does one feel light? By an increase in temperature, a prickly sensation on your fingertips? Am I focusing too much on my hands? Do you feel light in the softest part of your throat? What is it that called you today? Can you ask it to call me too? I dream of a world, and the world always escapes me, a softer place of landing which cities are not. I still believe we will win. But my God, this world is doing a shit job at backing me up. I wanted to be able to say the story was never meant to be a method of containment, but I know this is wrong. I know people use stories to maintain order, to control. Stories at times can be terrible, terrible things. But I will tell a story of location, the place where your feet touch the ground, a footstep that emits light, how we take space with unending depths of nerve. The stories, they are what we share with other people. Tell me one that remembers we're alive. We are alive, aren't we? And if we're alive, then that has to mean we have a chance. I read this poem maybe about 2 years ago. I started DJing, I think about like 7 years ago. You know, in my show, I have this line where I say, like, I waited until my middle ages to become a Filipino stereotype. I read this poem a while back, and I just didn't know when, would be a time to read it. And it was about, I was watching this documentary about Palestinian DJs. And he would talk about, like, they're continuing a tradition of, like, how, when their older generations were out protesting, they would hit the clubs at night, and dance, and, like, as DJs, they wanted to make sure those spaces were there too. And that made me think about, like, what are the ways that we, through times like this, that we sustain each other, that we continue to give life to each other, that we continue to feed each other. And I was seeing a video today about how, there's some, people out there, like, getting the flour they can and making bread out of it, wherever they can. It's the ways that, like, there are other people in these times too that are, that are out there trying to make sure everyone's fed. So, there's a break in the wall where a DJ climbs up a dingy ladder so he can get to a gig he's booked in occupied territory. He's been caught by the police a few times already, but as he says, he won't stop. He's bringing music back to this place his family was removed from years ago. Every great act of resistance is built by smaller acts, and therein are smaller acts. Displacement is an excision from the body, one of the oldest violences. There is an assumption that a wall is built for protection, but a wall inflicts. It disrupts a people's belief in belonging to a land. The wall appears in endless forms. There are many ways to inure people into seeing a home as something they are meant to lose. Sometimes what we're doing is rooting each other back into earth, to help each other back to our bodies, The 4/4 drum pattern that gave birth to dance music is sometimes called the heartbeat. The way it centers repetition makes it akin to mantra or prayer. To be together is to remember we exist. To be within is to find the will. We will give life to each other this way. We will return each other to ourselves. We will remember those two who brought bread or flowers or song. The world will always bend to this. I must believe it is true. To us, they will listen.
Hmm.
I think I'll just do 2 more pieces. Thank y'all for coming through tonight on a Wednesday night. And listening to the poetry. Thank you, Jacob, for sharing this stage with you. And thank y'all for having me. A little there is to know of the body, that we would emerge from the water, never complete new, there inside a facsimile of older grief. They say the body inherits memory. Maybe it's just the newer pain, learning to understand us through us. Trauma is a wire through the generation. We are not alone in this. I repeat, then inhale. Each flush of air sketching in my mind all the parts of me that will remain hidden. This is a kind of practice in faith, I tell myself. On the day the coroner holds my dead heart in their hands, what will we call it? Out of commission parts or a collapsed engine? What becomes of the well of ideas, all this imagination, every bit of touch that ignites still, where does it go? I want to believe that joy is inherited too. When they want us to have this as well, doesn't everyone you love deserve the entirety of you? Someday I will be gone from here, and someday so will you. I grieve for you already. But I believe that grief is an honest gift. It's how we learn to hold the whole of a person. So much of loss is counted in the absences. There's nothing missing when it comes to any of you. It's your fullness that overwhelms me. The rich and varied life of a person, all of its requisite pleasure and madnesses. Maybe we learn how to live with this. Maybe we find the place that learns how to love us and our pain in equal measures. In there is a greater joy. I must believe it is one equal to the weight of our living. Thank you. It feels right to end there. Thank you all so much.
Oh my God. All right. Oh, you said 2 more. I thought I was going to recover. Jason's like, well, I just ruined you, so I'm just going to walk off the stage. Oh my God, please give up a round of applause for Jacob and Jason. I am entirely made of feelings. And a little tiny bit of wine. Thank you all so much for being here. Both Jacob and Jason will be at the back table. They have books for sale. Please do go back there, support them by buying their books. Take some of this incredible art home with you.
And eat food while you're waiting.
And please do eat this food. It's possible that the Poetry Center over-ordered. So, yes. Eat some food, get some water, some beer, some wine, some whatever back there. There's some like weird hard seltzer situation. It's great because we've had all the flavors that are normal. Anywho, please make sure to sign up on the mailing list if you're not already on it. I want to offer a big thanks to the Poetry Center staff, our Literary Life intern, February Speichner, our super volunteer, Chris, our home here at Haymarket House. Please hang out for a bit. And we say this, one introvert to another, talk poems with people, it's the best way to make friends. It really is, make good friends, yeah. Anywho, hang out, you're wonderful, sign up for our December workshop, and we will see you back here for Blue Hour in January. Have a great night.
You killed it, man. That was awesome. Absolutely. Yeah.
It was so good to meet you.
Thank you for having that. Cool to see you in different outfits. Yeah. It's all good.